Hi, so my name is Vivian, and today I'm going to talk about operant conditioning, which is one of the types of learning that you would need to know for the behavioral sciences section of the MCAT. So I've made this handy dandy graphic, which I'm showing now on the screen. And so I'm going to go through a couple of the relationships that will arise between stimulus and behavior. So essentially we have here on the top stimulus. This means something that can be added to which we will respond. Something that can be added or removed, I should say. Over here we have behavior. So the goal of operant conditioning is to kind of change your behavior, change the occurrence of a behavior, either to reinforce it or increase it, or to punish it or to decrease it. So basically, out of this, stimulus and behavior arises four possible combinations. The first one is positive reinforcement. So this means that you are reinforcing a behavior by adding some sort of stimulus. So my example that I've kind of drawn here, I will say, first of all, this is all quarantine edition because I think everybody can relate to being at home. So I thought it would be fun to make this about quarantine. Positive reinforcement means that in this case, I want to, let's say, exercise more. And in order to do that, I decide that I'm going to reward myself with an episode of Netflix, one episode of a TV show on Netflix every time I exercise. That would be a type of positive reinforcement because every time I exercise, I would be more likely to do it in order to be able to watch Netflix. Now let's move to negative reinforcement. This means increasing the occurrence of a behavior by removing a stimulus. So my example is that I've been doing more yoga in quarantine. Yoga reduces or takes away my stress. So it's a type of negative reinforcement because I want to keep doing yoga, hence the behavior is reinforced because it's removing an unpleasant stimulus, in this case, stress. Now let's move down to punishment. So in positive punishment here, we have what is basically reducing the occurrence of a behavior by adding some sort of unpleasant stimulus. So an example is that if you go outside and you are not masked, you're not wearing a mask, then you might get reprimanded by your neighbors or by a local authority. And that is a type of positive punishment because you're going to be less likely to not wear a mask because you don't want to get reprimanded. And so not wearing a mask becomes punished and you do it less frequently. Now let's move to negative punishment. Negative punishment down here means that you're removing a sort of stimulus in order to reduce the frequency of a behavior. So down here, I've got a little bit of a reference to the 90s kids who know about Club Penguin, which is a game where you can interact with other users. On those types of websites, if you make a comment that it goes against the community guidelines, then you will probably be banned. They will remove your access from the website. Hence, the behavior that is being punished is making inappropriate comments. And what is being taken away every time you make an inappropriate comment is access to the website. So I hope that helped you to understand operant conditioning a little bit. I would highly recommend that you make make a graphic for yourself and include personalized examples, just like I've done here. I'm a big proponent of visualizing knowledge and making it personal to you so that you remember it for the MCAT. And I hope that you can do this also not only for operant conditioning, but for other concepts in the different sections of the MCAT. Thank you for listening, and please let me know if you have any questions.